It's a beautiful fall evening this evening. Look at this. It's just incredible out here, and I love it. But one thing that's not so incredible is the recent Christian news. The recent Christian news is that Stephen Lawson, famous pastor down in Texas, was, he was forced to resign because, why is it windy all of a sudden? That's annoying. He was forced to resign because of an affair he had. And this has been this big news story, in part because he said something that hasn't aged well. He said something about how being a powerful preacher has a lot to do with the character of the preacher. And so as one who is well respected and one who gave good messages, he pointed to, that he's got this character. That was the implication in the interview. And now this has people all in a tizzy. Is he a liar? Is he a fraud? I thought it was supposed to be that his character was good, and that's part of why God was so powerful working through him. And then you've got the Catholic apologists, and they want to pounce on this and say, see, grace alone isn't good enough. Like, clearly you've got to have something else. You've got to stay away from mortal sin or else this won't work. And it's just like, why is everyone so shocked? Why does it have to be sensational? I'm just not quite sure. Like, heartbreaking, wrong of him, not good, obviously. But I don't get it when I hear people say, like, wow, I just can't believe that a pastor, a preacher who has such a big following would do this bad thing. He was famous. He was wealthy, and he got tons of attention, and he was highly competent at what he did. He's a king in modern terms. If that's true of any man, his temptation is to fall. Look at the kings of Israel. This happened like all the time. A man has some power and his character can't handle it. Saul is an example, right? Like, I don't understand why people don't think that when guys get famous, they're going to do immoral things. And this is obviously not a one-to-one. And this isn't an excuse for Stephen Lawson either. Like, obviously what he did is wrong, and he shouldn't, and pastors shouldn't do anything of the sort. But I guess I want to challenge the idea that everyone should be so surprised at sin, especially when the temptations of someone who gains immense popularity are strong. And also, finally, about his comments, he does have something wrong. God can speak through whomever he pleases. And I think it's a little odd to say that, only the best moral character is, most provocative and edifying when it comes to preaching. I mean, St. Paul has basically the opposite attitude. That as chief of sinners, God has allowed him to do work. I think there's a lot of men in the Bible who don't fit that description. And so, I don't know if this is me just desiring to throw my 2 cents in the hat, or I think, and I hope, it's me just grappling with the image that people have for pastors, and I see myself, and I think 2 things must be true. That anyone who has a position of authority has more responsibility, and God's entrusted them with that, and so they must be careful. That they're held to a special standard. And at the same time, I think people's estimation of pastors isn't always fair or honest. And I think that that's why everyone is shocked and appalled and buzzing for weeks, more than a month now, about Stephen Lawson. So, I think the takeaway for all of us is to fight sin and not excuse it, but don't be surprised at your own sin. That's arrogance too, right? That was kind of heavy, kind of dark, but today is a beautiful day. God is so good. He created the mountains and this sunset and this beautiful church I get to serve at, and it's 60 degrees in Alberta. I couldn't be more happy in a lot of ways. God bless your week.